Yeah, well, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day.
There you go.
Yeah, real early.
Those names of concrete, so. This was about an hour ago.
Just not work.
It's really sweet.
All right, Lisa, it's messing up some pieces. Oh, Lord, there's an error, okay. It may not be, it says there's an error. Is that still in development mode? Oh, my God.
That's what I'm saying.
I think God forbid.
They have one here They have right now, there's one right there.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you have to sit right there. So, Ken, so apparently, it's not working, it's not letting me do it. Jamie's gonna sit there with him and they just lock that way. It's the only way I have to do it.
Names of your leg.
At 6 o'clock, I'm gonna call this regular scheduled meeting of the Gulf County Commission to order November the 9th, 2021. Thank you. You lead us in prayer, please.
Yes, let's pray. Dear Lord, thanks for all the many blessings you bestowed upon each one of us, on this county and this state. We ask now that you come into this meeting, just watch over and guide us with everything that's said and done, that it may be pleasing to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Rick, you lead us in prayer.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started tonight, we have a guest here. valuable asset to Davis County and still will be, I'm sure. And I would like to recognize him tonight. Roger, would you come up front, please? On behalf of the Jeff Davis County, I want to congratulate you on the years of service, and wish you the very best in your future.
Thank you, sir.
I've got a little thing here with your name on it. And it says, we'll let everybody see, or you want me to read it?
Read it out then.
You don't want to read it?
I'll let you.
It says, retirement, the opportunity to finally reflect on the past, enjoy the present, and embrace the future ahead. Roger D. Oak with Jeff Davis County, 29 years of service.
Thank you.
Now, we'll all come up and take a picture.
Real quick.
I think we can take these off for,
We might look better with the mask on.
can you get everybody in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect, okay.
Thank you, appreciate it.
For this group.
Thanks a lot. Guys, I do appreciate everything. It's been a great 29 years. I don't regret any of it. And as I've said before, it's been a pleasure working for y'all. We hope we made a positive impact. I'm leaving one of the best EMS services there is in the state. And I left it in good hands. And they'll continue to be in my prayers, so we all. But thank you for everything.
Thank you, Roger. All right, next thing is public comments. I have no sheets here, so we'll go on past that. Next thing is the approval of the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda tonight.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Ricky.
I'll second.
Got a second from Van. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Minutes. Approval of October 12th and October 19th, 2021 minutes. Need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Have a motion from Van to approve. Got a second from James. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Financials, approval of monthly bills. I need a motion to approve the paying of the monthly bills.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion from Rick.
I'll second.
I have a second from Van. Is there any discussion on it? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Solid waste. Discuss dump sites. Miss Tiffany is going to give us
Just wanted to update y'all that the dump sites on Thursdays, the hours are changing because of the time change. All days are 8:30 to 5:30. We've already put up new signs and taken down the old ones. And if you'll look, we have a sheet that has the materials that we can't receive at our dump sites.
Where's that at?
Tab 3.
Is this posted at each dump site?
Yes, sir, our attendants have them. They check our people that come in there, our residents, and let them know if they have any of those things that they cannot dump it. Then they also have a number to the landfills for Toombs County and Telfair.
So, okay. Can we discuss this right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion that we have signs, big signs, at each dump site for this on.
The signs that appear to be there say household garbage only, which is completely false. So we need to make sure we get them down if that's the case. 'Cause I mean, like I just,
But we need a list of what we can't take, so there's not an argument at the dump site with an employee.
Okay.
So if this is what we can't take, then I would say we need to have 4x8 sign or 3x5 or something big enough people can see when they're coming in the gate.
And this is also per our disposal company. I'm sure they're okay with all this.
Yes, sir, I've already let her look at this, and she said that was fine with them.
And they're okay with the mattresses and the furniture and the clothes and all, okay.
Yes, sir.
Besides the fact it fills everything up.
Sir?
Besides the fact it fills everything up and overfills it, they're okay with taking it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I made a motion that we have these signs made and posted at all of our dump sites. Do I have a second?
Yeah, but one more thing, while we're in discussion on that, and they roll this into that too. How are they checking to see county of residency? Because like, I mean, you know, I'm not pointing anybody out, but I know there's a lot of folks between between Alzheimer that use our dump site, that are actually in Appleton County. And so I, you know, asked the guy how he checks, and he said, well, you know, everybody's tagged, normally says in God we trust now, so I can't do that. I said, well, you know, why don't you ask for a driver's license? Because if they're driving up there to dump something, they gotta have a driver's license by law. And if they don't have a Georgia driver's license, then they're breaking the law anyway, because they, you know, if they just moved here or whatever. So, you know, what do y'all, I mean, what do we, apparently it's an issue, or,
If the tags do not say that they are from Jeff Davis County, most of our attendants kind of strike up a conversation with them and casually ask them if they are from Jeff Davis. If they're not, or they just moved here, they are supposed to give us a call and give us their name, so that we, if they have property here, pay property taxes, and if they do, then they're okay to dump.
would it be easy to check their driver's license up?
It would be, I just don't know that, can we do that?
I don't know.
We'll have to check them now. I don't know the legalities with a citizen asking another citizen for their driver's license, I mean.
That was-
I mean, but we're checking into a public.
Yeah, I
public
mean,
facility.
we can check on that, and if that's legal, I don't have a problem.
I mean, because they're driving there
Right,
anyway, so that's
that's
something
right.
they got to have on.
I mean, I'm good with that, everybody else is.
Usually they just look at the tag, you know?
Yeah, but they all say God we trust now, so you don't know.
Yeah, I say we should.
I mean, there was, legit, there was 3 guys from Florida that were coming up deer hunting the other day, that were dumping in a dumpster out down the highway. They're like, they even had 4-wheelers behind and everything. So when they were headed home, or coming up or whatever, somehow they had a bunch of trash that they were dumping and all together. So apparently they thought it was okay, but nobody questioned about anything.
Are we
Yes, they
not?
should.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I guess they can show a tax bill or anything showing there for the drive, something they did in the county.
Yeah, but it'd just be easy to, I
Yeah,
mean,
driver's license.
they shouldn't be driving if they don't have a driver's license, so, even though I know that's not always the case. Anyway, it's just kind of got lackadaisical with checking on that.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I personally, I'm by that dumpster day in and day out. I've never seen them check a tag or ask anybody or anything else. And I constantly see people that are not residents of this county. So, anyway, if we could just kind of reaffirm it with them and get them to start checking it, we'll check on the driver's license side of it and kind of go from
Okay, for the people that do come up from Florida and other states hunting, are we not supposed to let them dump since
there.
they're?
Take it back with you. You brought it in, I guess you gotta take it back.
If you don't, they gonna throw it in the woods, I'm telling you.
Well,
They might better let them dump.
But now we got Appleton County's residents coming over here dumping too, so how you gonna, how you
Well, I
gonna
think they should
differentiate?
come out of the
The
home.
hunters.
Jeff Davis County.
Yeah, but how you gonna differentiate? Hunters can and nobody else can, you know, I mean, it's,
They gonna throw it somewhere.
right. You're right. I mean, typically they burn it, you know, if they're camping up here, so they would burn what they're using, but.
Tiffany, which one of those that sites is filling up faster than the others? Is that his, the
Yes,
main one?
it's the Allen side.
Yeah, and it's right side of that main highway. And I think they're getting a lot of trash from somewhere else.
Yeah, it's probably more Appleton than Macon.
We do need to figure out.
So I'm on
He's got a motion.
on sign right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we'll check
we're
on that.
discussing this, so Hank, I'm gonna say, if they can show a proof of lease, property lease, and that trash was generated in Jeff Davis County, I think we should take it. If they from Florida.
They got that with them, but you know they ain't gonna have that. So we're gonna cause a confrontation between the guy that's overseeing the dumpster and the other one. I'm trying to keep them out of as much as possible.
We don't want
But
to.
if he could ask them, just to say, and then maybe they can bring it the next time.
Yeah.
Just start asking them.
I mean, because I don't want to discourage that, because, you know, there's a lot of businesses getting revenue from these Florida hunters too.
That's right.
I mean, they eat here, they buy groceries here, so I don't want to discourage that. Now, I do want to discourage Appleton County residents from doing it,
Yeah.
or Macon County residents, but,
The biggest thing is everybody around us, except for Wheeler County, has got door-to-door pickup. So there's no place for the Telfair County folks to put their trash other than in our dumpster on the way back to Florida. And normally they go on Sunday, so they open, so they haul it with them.
right,
But this just happened to be on Friday afternoon.
right.
Anyway. All right, peace out.
So let's make this motion. Let's say we want these signs at all dump sites. And that we would like to, if there's any question of the trash being generated in Jeff Davis County, they would have to show proof of residence. And that would alleviate the hunters, maybe. Does everybody agree with that? So I have a motion.
If they got proof residency, those far hunters, that's all.
No, if they say the trash was generated in Jeff Davis County, from hunting or whatever, then we'll accept it.
But that's just a verbal, you ain't talking about putting that on a sign.
No, that's just what we need to tell our people at the dump site. The sign will be what's here, the other will be something we didn't put in for us.
I'll second that.
And we need to check, make sure the driver's license thing is legal before we go any further. But Andy, if you get with Heather, she'll get with you on that second part, okay?
Okay.
So I got a motion and a second by Vance. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously.
And what is C and D landfill?
That is, construction demolition.
Landfill, so that's just a general term for, I thought we had a new one that opened somewhere called C and D landfill.
No, sir, that's just the general
Okay.
landfill name for the Telfair and Plains.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
And if y'all look, Tiffany also went to each dump site and took pictures of the dump sites. They're in your guys'.
By the way, while we're on that, thank you, Eddie, for the work out on the highway.
Yeah, I got to do a little more
Right.
on that.
What's been done so far is great.
They cleaned them all up. They all look really good. Thank y'all so much.
Yes.
Yeah,
Please let our
Tiffany went
tenants know
around
they
and
need to stay that
talked
way.
to some of them, and hopefully we'll get that straightened up.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day on the phone.
Yeah.
And, you know, them attendants needs to make sure that that trash ain't put it all
We-
everywhere. That
we-
truck driver needs to be able to come there, pick that thing up and go.
We have some that do a really good job and some that don't want to come out of the house, I think.
Yeah, well, Tiffany went around and talked to a few of them, but we still got to meet with some of them and let them know that they do got to see what people done.
Yeah.
It's 8:30 to 5:30.
8:30 to 5:30.
8:30 to 5:30, Tuesday through Saturday.
You got that, Mr. Arnold?
All right, is there anything else?
We're talking about dump sites.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What about the trash containers that we was gonna, bids or whatever happened to that?
We need to think about that because there's not very many companies that are local that you can't get bids from. So we have some companies that she's getting that up for me.
Okay. What about, it don't know something about when the trash truck goes out and gets to the rollback truck? Can they take a dumpster out and drop it and bring one loaded back? Have that truck loaded all the time instead of.
Well, what it is, when you go to a dump site, he'll pick up one there, like we got 4 or 6, I think, out there at Hank. And he'll pick up one, take it, empty it, bring it back, pick another one up. He'll move that whole site before he goes to another site.
So it only goes there unloaded
One time, that's right.
Yeah.
Those are one time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I.
I'm okay with that, yeah, because you gotta have a whole.
Oh, yeah, you got to
Well, our attendants fill up one container at a time, so that our trash truck can go out there and pick up the one container that is full. And once it's full, they move to another one and they start filling that one up.
Okay.
That's good, that's what we want. Thank you.
Anything else on the, solid waste?
I guess we got our, Mr. King.
All right, well, we'll move on to the fire department then. Mr. Charles Watson.
I'm gonna take this off so y'all can see my face.
Okay.
Back in 2007, the federal government passed a regulation that said that by 2013, that all radio frequencies would be narrow banded from 25 hertz to 12.5 hertz and eventually to 6.25 hertz. 6.25 hertz means you would be in the digital range. We are at 12.5 and we're analog. With that, we've had a lot of problems over the last several years with radio frequencies. When they narrow banded, they were dishing out more frequencies, and I think we went through 3 pairs of frequencies for EMS just to get them something they could talk on. We ended up, for our first frequency for the fire department was a good frequency. The only problems we've had has been the ability to talk on portables inside the city of Hazelhurst and also in the northern part of the county. A lot of my people in the northern part of the county can't even hear their pagers most of the time. We do have some problems on coming around the right outer part of the city on the south side, but not that bad. We've looked at issues, and we had a company that come in here and they brought a $75,000 piece of equipment, and they went to going around the city, and they found that for some reason the signal leaving here, going to the tower and coming back going to the north side of the county was having an issue. We haven't been able to resolve that problem. But we have had tons of problems with our people not hearing their papers. So we contacted, there's several companies out there, Who's Responding, E-Dispatch, that takes the radio traffic and translates it to your cell phone. So we're on a 30-day trial basis right now with that. We've had great success with that. All of our people are hearing the pages. So just like if I'm standing here right now, we get a call, I don't have my pager, but my phone's gonna go off and it's gonna let me know what the call is and where it's at. Also, I can go into the E-Dispatch and I can put in there, I'm responding, I'm going to the station or I'm unavailable. So it's, for me, the fire chief, I can scroll through real quick on the structure and say, okay, this is not coming, this is not coming, this is not coming. That was going to the station, get a truck. These 5 are on the way. So, that's not it right there, sorry. But anyway, I've already met with the city about this and asked the city. They've agreed if the county wanted to fund this, we would do this jointly. And they've approved it. I'm waiting on the approval from the county. We're looking at about $1,050 per year for both sides to run this Who's Responding. Now, it will not replace the pagers. And the simple reason it will not now is because ISO does not recognize this yet. They do not recognize this as a point of letting our people know because they're skeptical about the internet, they're skeptical about the towers, so it's not foolproof. If you don't have internet, it's not going to work. So we've had very few issues with this since we started. We were on Mediacom at the fire station. We installed it at the fire station. We had a few problems. They were sending us emails saying your internet's dropping, your internet's dropping. So we contacted Casey Williams, and for right now we're trying his internet, which is on the fire station that goes to the water tower, and we've had no droppage since. We've been doing this 2 weeks on his internet. We've had no droppage. So it's been working perfect.
So what do you mean, if you don't have internet, you don't have service, you don't have internet at the fire station?
Right, yes, sir.
So if you don't have internet at your residence, that you're blocked there?
No, sir. As long as they got their telephone, as long as they got their phone, they're good. What we're saying is this translates from the radio through the internet and sends it out to the phones.
So the only way they wouldn't get it is if they didn't have cell service?
Right, yes, sir.
So let me ask you this, because, and maybe everybody don't know, you know, the 911 realizes there's an issue, and they are working on it. In fact, somebody's coming next week to put up another antenna to make this better. That's what I'm being told. If that worked right, would you need this?
Yes, sir, because we were having that problem before they even left over this building here.
Okay.
So we've had the problem for a period of time. Now, when the federal government makes us go to 6.25, we will have no choice but to put up a bunch more antennas because we'll be digital.
Will this create any more work for 911?
No, sir, this is set up at the fire station.
Okay.
This is set up on my radio at the fire station, has nothing to do with 911.
It creates no more work for 911 dispatch?
No, sir. You can run it through your CAD system, but we have not. We're running it through our radio. When the radio goes off at the fire station, it belongs to 911. And the problem we're having with 911 is the fact that when they're tying us together, they're gonna put some Yagi antennas in. Maybe that'll help, but what we're having a problem with at 911, it's not when they pay just by themselves, it's when they tie us, EMS, and law enforcement together like for a wreck, or attempted suicide or something, where they tie all three agencies together through the system and try to talk to us all at one time. When they do that, we're having a problem. We're getting dropped. 2 weeks ago, when Ashley Tyre, he does his weekly thing over the radio to all agencies, I heard him say, amen and go Jackets. That's all we heard of the whole conversation where he done his whole relation. We heard them 3 words, that's all we heard out of it. Last week, when he done it, I sat there and switched back to 2. The EMS frequency and the fire and the law enforcement frequency was perfectly clear. We were hearing nothing on the fire band. So we're having an issue when they tie those 3 together. But if 911 pays us separately, we're not having an issue. It's only when they tie us together with all 3 agencies together. That's our problem right now.
So is that bandwidth, is that the problem, that we just don't have the capacity to
I-
create a signal?
I don't know that the Yagi antennas is gonna fix it. We're gonna see. We got radio and we have CAD system folks working on it.
So
you got-
basically, this is a backup system, pretty
Yes.
much. If that don't work, if the
Yes, it does.
antenna don't work, then, I mean, we got insurance that everybody get a call for $1,050 a year, is what you tell them.
Right, and I could be in Hawaii and my phone would go off and tell me what's going on. So, and the thing
How
the
much is the
thing,
initial cost and how long the contract?
we, 1 year. We do it on a yearly basis.
There's no upfront.
No, sir. There's, I think we gotta pay $895 for the equipment, and then it's just the yearly fee. But we have the system right now for 30 days. We're running out of time. We're gonna have to do something with it. The thing I like about it, this is what sells me. I can get on there, and when the call comes in, my guys can get on there and say, I'm going to the station. It gives you an option, going to the station, going to the call, or unavailable. So I can look on there within 2 minutes, and I can see where 15 people's got on there and said that, and I know I got 5 that's not coming at all. I know them people aren't coming. I know they're not coming at all. Plus, it gives you a map, and you see the map, and that map shows you where you're at, and you can follow that map where you're going.
Can you see the other people on it?
I can't see the other people on there, but I can see whether they're coming or not. If they respond to it, you have to make that initial response. I've got to go into e-dispatch and put what I'm going to do. Some people may not even put anything. I may just hear the call, may be busy. You know, I'm up on a ladder, I'm not gonna be able to go, I ain't got time to go, I'm not gonna even respond. But for the ones that are coming, are the ones that, you know, make that initial, response, then we know whether they're coming, not coming. And I know if somebody's going to the station, if we have something that's not filled, and Thomas Colder puts, I'm going to the station, I know he's going to the station to get a truck. So I know I've got somebody going to the station to get a truck.
So you're asking us for $1,050 a year?
That's what we're looking at right now. That's for 100, I can put up to 100 people on the system. Now, there already been some things, question, let me clarify this, in case somebody asks you. We cannot use it between fire, law enforcement, and EMS. You have to have one system per frequency, so we can't throw the police officers on, because they'll never do anything. So it's got to be just for the fire department.
Okay.
And you
Or
just
if you
told-
did,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
just gonna say, if they were on it, then they just have to hear everything you were doing.
Right, and it would be on their, they wouldn't be here in their frequency, they'd be here in mine.
Right.
Yes.
And you did, are you gonna talk with the company about splitting the
Yeah, they're
bill so
gonna,
they come?
we're gonna get them split the bill so that it wouldn't be the CDOs or the county-Os, it's a bill for each one. They split half to the county, half to the city, and they do it on a yearly basis and book their yard.
It's actually 2,100 then?
It's just about 2143, I think it is.
So y'all heard his request. Do I have anybody that'd like to make a motion to approve his request?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Rick
I'll second
and a second from Van. Is there any other discussion on this matter? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. So the motion would be to pay
Half.
half. So, everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries now.
I will let this real quick, I will make sure that, you know, I will find the money in my current budget to do this, and then we will put it as a line item in the upcoming budget.
That's good.
Thank you.
Might as well stay up there.
I'm enjoying these seats, chairs.
EMA is the next item, discuss EMA building. So, as everybody knows, we purchased the EMA building, the old Jehovah's Witness building, and, it is a great place, a very nice place. It does need some, few modifications, and I'm gonna let Charles tell y'all what that is. One of it is a shelter to put the, what's it called?
Both come in.
Mobile command under, a little bit of concrete work and some other items, and I'll let him discuss that.
Okay. What we done is if you go inside the building, there's a lot of things that are set up and ready to go. But we've got to make some changes. We've got to put some TVs on the walls. There's a wall up there in the left-hand corner. We got to make a knee wall so that we can get a TV up there. Because I've got to have enough TVs to run the boards that we have to run for Plan Action. Just real quick, we've been real busy trying to get ready for last week's FEMA graded, evaluated exercise, and we come through with no problems. And we were in a temporary facility to do that. FEMA did go look at our new building, was very impressed at what we had. But anyway, we've got to do that. There was a building out back, and it was just basically, had no walls, no ceiling, just a building. But I've got a lot of equipment that we get from Plan Action, from GEMA, that has to go somewhere. And it's got to be somewhere that it is a controlled environment. So we're having to go into that building, put some walls in, just some plywood, put some insulation, put a small split unit air conditioner in there so we can control the environment. Because these tools, these meters and all are very sensitive. So, and it's a lot of money. We're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment just that we need for these Plan Action drills. So that's part of what we got to do. We also, I want to move the mobile command out there because I need some room at the fire station to put a tanker in. And that would be a suitable place for it to go. So we're looking at some concrete and a building. We got to make a little kitchenette out there. We don't need a full kitchen. We're going to put a refrigerator in, and then we're going to go in and put a little sink in an area, and then a few cabinets, and we'll have to have like a microwave and a coffee pot. So camera system and telephones we got to put that in there. We also we're going to eventually have to have a backup generator. It's going to be required for us to have. I have sent a request to Southern Company. We're looking at about $26,000 for install for a generator, and I've asked them to fund that, so I'm waiting on their answer. So hopefully we can get them to fund that for us. They know the situation we're under, and you know they know that we've got 3 different departments that were put out by the fire, and it's hard to get everything back in play with just a little bit of insurance money you get from insurance company. So they know the situation, and I feel that they're really pushing it. I feel good about it. I think it may take a couple months. Southern Company, it takes time. So it may take us a few months for them to give us the answer and say, we're gonna send you a check. So that may take a while, but we can move in, without that, we have to.
How much, what are you talking about? What do you think?
Probably around 35,000 to do everything we need.
And let me, and before it goes any further, so he's asking for 35,000, he applied for a grant for this type of.
GEMA give us
Yeah,
$77,000.
GEMA give us $77,000 too.
We got a check last week for $77,000.
Yeah.
Now, that's part of my EMPG. So what I have to do in June, when I do my final Lear report, I have to show that we have spent $154,000 on our project, which is not a project.
Same problem.
It can be, we can utilize some costs from the other things to do with fire. The money's there because of the fire. So we can utilize other stuff as well. So the 35,000, I think, will do what I need to do, around that 35,000 mark, and then the rest of it could be used, EMS, you know.
So you're saying the 35,000 is coming out of 77,000?
77,000.
Yeah.
We got.
So nothing for us to really vote,
Right.
you're just spending that money on. That's cool.
And hopefully we'll get the 26,000 from, if something happens, the other company comes and says no, then we'll have to back up down the road and figure out what we're gonna do about a backup generator. But I
Worst
feel
case
good.
scenario, if we spend 35 now, if we have to buy a $26,000 generator, we spend 50 to 77.
You gonna bid this out?
We get prices on this stuff. Yes, sir. We get prices from everybody. There's a lot of little stuff that's got to be done.
Well, other stuff, just, you know.
Yeah,
work
some
with
of
her,
them,
she
I
needs to
mean, you're
advertise.
talking about 7 or 8 projects here, some of them's $2,000 projects, some of them's.
Yeah, between.
Yeah, one of them's 1,500. I mean, it's just a lot of little things that's got to be done.
So instead of us just, and like I say, most of it could be approved by Heather, but I still want y'all to be aware that they're going to be $35,000 then. So I'd rather have a motion for y'all to allow them to fulfill this needs up to $35,000.
Unfortunately, this is not having to come from taxpayers.
I make a motion.
Got a motion by Hank, got a second by Van. Is there any more discussion on it? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote for him to spend up to $35,000 on these renovations. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand.
That's over 77,000.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Board appointees. So we have the tax assessor first.
Yeah,
Reappointments.
so tab 4. And the first one, we have 2 from the tax assessor who is asking to be reappointed. You have Mr. Claude Cobb, who they have kept their certification current and attending all mandatory meetings, along with Chester Yawn. So they're asking that you reappoint them for a second term. The assessor's board is asking for that.
I'll make a motion to reappoint.
I'll second.
We got a motion from Van and a second from Rick. Is there any other discussion on these reappointments?
Everybody else put in for?
We're asking the assessor to ask for that.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Joint Development Authority appointment.
So the joint, sorry, Ms. Laura, you want to talk about it, or you want me to? Okay. Good evening.
How are you?
On our September 21st Development Authority Board meeting, it was brought to the board's attention that we have an open position where Jim Moore of the Bank of Haverhill served. Did he retire?
He moved.
He moved. Okay. So that position is open. The board did pass a motion to nominate Jimmy McLeod to fill that open position. They explained to me that that is facilitated by this group.
We go by their recommendation.
And Jimmy's aware of it, he's okay with it.
Yes.
Good deal.
The only other question that the board had was, is this something that has to be posted publicly or not?
We do like this.
I'll make a motion to reappoint.
To appoint him, not a reappoint.
To appoint.
To appoint Jim McLeod.
Jim McLeod.
So I have a motion from Van to appoint Jimmy McLeod.
I'll say. And one thing is he's fulfilling the remainder of that term. So that's the reason we probably wouldn't have to post it. If there were other positions that fulfilled their term, then we would probably have to post
At
it.
the end of the term, then we would.
Right. But he's just filling a term that is left only by somebody else. So when his position comes up, we may have to advertise it at that point.
You will have to have that.
So I don't know when that is, but, you know.
I'll find out and let Heather know. That's okay.
So we have a motion and a second. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously.
Pretty sure I got a copy of the bylaws too. If you don't have it yet, email me that.
I'm not
I think all that's in there somehow.
I'm not really sure what the terms are.
I can't either, but if you don't, somebody's got them, if you don't have them, I'll get them.
Probably I should get those from you.
Yeah.
I'll look in the office if I don't have them. May I
Okay,
do
just
that?
let me know and I can shoot it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura.
Next is, library board appointments.
Yeah, so what they're asking, Miss Megan Marchant, Miss Stephanie Reese, are both, their terms are up. So they're asking that you advertise for positions for the library board.
I'll make a motion, we advertise for the library board.
Second.
Got a motion by Ricky, a second by Hank. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote to advertise for the library board. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, next item, resolutions. Comprehensive plan.
So you have five, is your, this is the comprehensive, resolution for the comprehensive plan, effective date of October 26th.
Need a motion to adopt this plan, effective October the 26th, 2021.
Make the motion.
A motion from Hank,
Second.
second from Ricky. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously.
Tab 6 is the resolution for opioids of national settlements and Georgia MOU. What this was our sheriff opted in with 30 other counties to be a part of this. What we'll do is we'll get and make sure I'm saying this right, a settlement yearly of a payment of a 9.38% of a $26 billion settlement.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I think it goes on for like 30 years.
Yeah,
So it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
It's still a bunch of money, but, you know, it's not.
Yes, but this is to adopt this resolution.
So do I have a motion to adopt this resolution where we can receive payments from this?
So I'll do it.
Got a motion by Ricky and a second by Hank. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously.
Okay, so this next, go ahead, Brian, I'll tell you about it, I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself.
Next thing, we're gonna discuss the bank and discuss closing small accounts.
So, the accountants have asked, about some of the smaller accounts that don't have very, much money. The only thing they're doing is, if any, gaining any interest of a 5-cent interest a month. There's 3 accounts that they recommended that we move to the general fund and close those small accounts because they're subject for, fraud. So the first one is called the EIP grant. This was a long time, apparently it was some type of project with JDA years and years ago, but it's not been touched since. It only has $117.50 in it. And it's not even gaining interest. So the accountants recommend that we move that to the general fund and close that account first.
We need to discuss these individually, right? Because they're separate accounts.
Yes. Oh, well,
I think you can make one motion
to close all
to
of
close
them.
all 3, assuming you want to close all 3. If you want to close, then you
All right,
can.
let's go on then.
Okay. The next one is just called the grant account. I asked Hannah about this one because nobody can really tell me what, she said in the 8 years she's been here, she still knows and has no idea what this was even for. It literally has $11.51 in it and gains no interest. And the last one is the reward fund. This was set up when Rhonda Coleman went missing. It has $2,214.92 in it. I had actually talked to Brad about this, and his recommendation was to give a certain amount of this, if not all of it, to the Rhonda Coleman Fund once it's closed. But that's the last one.
We'll have a little bit, so.
Yeah, we're going to go this separate. So I'd like to have a motion to close the EIP and the grant fund.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion from Hank.
And move them to the general fund.
And move them to the general fund.
I'll say.
Second from Vance, any discussion? I'll call for a vote, everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. So the next one is the reward fund for, Ms. Rhonda Sue Coleman, that was set up for her, it has a balance of $2,214.92. My motion would be for us to round that to $3,000 and give that to her parents to add to the reward money they already have.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion from Hank,
I'll say.
second from Van, so that would be, it's $2,214, we would, round that up to $3,000 and send them a check immediately.
And close the account.
And close the account. So I have a motion and a second, is there any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Updates, elections, Ms. Christie Reiner.
Okay, the update for the Board of Elections is the budget is at 29.8%. Everything looks good. With our budget so far, we have just finished both the City of Tazewell and the City of Denton's elections, finished up the paperwork on it today, and now we're getting ready to start the process for redistricting.
Okay. And you good with your budget, so that's what we need to know.
Okay. Thank you.
We got road department down here, we've already talked about it. You got anything else to add to road department here?
Yes, what, I met with a feller about spraying these roads. And what he's talking about $115 a mile. But what he's telling us, me and Tiffany met with him, and he said he could spray bridges too. He won't spray no fields, side of no field or nothing. But he said he would spray them for $115. And he's saying the power lines is gonna be responsible for one side, so he talks like it's $115. Should cover the whole road.
It's court, the road, you know, of course, dirt roads, they don't, the power companies don't, they just turn winds.
Yeah, but he's saying.
And he don't spray dirt roads anyway, we're just talking about county maintained paved roads, also.
Well, he'll spray the paved roads, he'll spray the bridges, and he'll spray the dirt roads. But you're right, the power lines do run down it. Now, they got some of them, they cut some of them, but they don't maintain most of their roads. But what he's telling me is power lines is responsible, not the road department.
Best of luck getting them to come over the dirt roads, I mean, that's just not.
Are y'all interested in,
I'm interested in that. I don't know if, we'd have to,
Put it out to bid.
we'd have to put it out for bids, and we'd also have to see if we have money in the budget to cover that this year. Because there's over
he
five.
ain't gonna start till next year.
Yeah.
If he, you know.
Yeah, well, there's over 500 miles of road, so that's, 60 grand.
And that's just the deterrent, so once you mow it, it's just the holdback, it doesn't kill anything.
No, he's talking like he can kill them bridges that the state killed per year.
Well, if you don't want to kill all your dirt roads, then you got erosion issues.
Well, no, he can kill what we want to kill.
That's what I'm saying, like on the state highways, when they spray those, they're spraying a retardant that it keeps it from growing. They don't kill the
Yeah.
good behavior or anything like that.
Well, that's what he said, he can mix us any mixture that we want, whether to cut it back or kill it.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we get quotes on this, but we also get, two things involved, Georgia Power and REA, and discuss with them their, liability or responsibility for spraying under their lines. Because I don't think that should fall on us. We shouldn't have to maintain under their lines.
What they're gonna tell you, if I recall correctly, is the height of that grass doesn't affect their lines, so that's why they trim limbs, they don't want grass.
Well, I think this feller is spraying a little bit for Coffee County, I think he just started. And I talked with him I thought about putting them side cutters ahead of him cutting. But he said, no, he would rather spray and the cutter wouldn't have to cut his mud.
You remember the weeds program? That's what that was all about. The power company didn't have to maintain the grass, all they had to maintain was what was in the air, so they better be able to do that weeds program so that the farmers and everybody else would maintain the stuff in the ground.
But that's just something y'all think about it.
You want back a motion to get bids on that, we'll see.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to get
I
bids.
don't know where we even advertise it, you know more than one that, I mean, there's.
No, I
stuff
don't.
you can see.
Now this fella, the way he talked, didn't he say he sprayed some for the state?
Yes.
I think he sprays for the
Yeah.
state. And he told me how much money it would cost to set up a truck. I know we had talked about doing some spraying, but the liability and all,
Right.
and he told me how much it cost. That truck, he got sprayed from both sides.
I talked to this guy, he got it.
What's the company?
They out of, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Company is, but anyway, they're doing Coffee County. And what got me hooked up with him is I talked to one of the county commissioners, and he was just bragging on what they've done on Fred Cycle Road. Just getting mowers back and that kind of thing, so. And I had to come talk to Eddie, but,
Yeah, he come to the office and met with me.
that's all I know, I mean, you know, but I know that we could do some spraying, or they can do some spraying for us that will really help us. These roads are getting, they just, the highway, they're about,
You don't have to figure that thing two ways. If you spray it, and you can figure your fuel and diesel, but,
Yeah,
I mean, and your labor, but we can cut a road. And y'all been down some of the roads that side cutter's been on. And they ain't been sprayed, it's already broke back. And it was cut last year. Some of the roads that Rocky had cut.
but,
I mean, they need to be something that's done that I think they do.
well, you in the roads, you see it all the time, and you know how fast.
But them bridges, y'all cross the bridges, of course, we do got our detail, which should be back Monday.
Tomorrow, red one.
And we can use them about cleaning up some of them bridges and paper and stuff like that. But we do.
And just like going out the Sniceville Highway, when you start getting out of town, out before you get to the gym, I mean, them bushes, they're a lot about 2 foot hitting the highway.
Well, it's wet down in there.
I
and
know,
you can't get
we
equipment in
need to
there.
spray it, clean it up, we got to clean it up.
We bogged down several tractors,
Yeah.
right there where you're talking about. You can't
That's
get
a
in
mess.
the ditches.
Why don't we talk to REA and Georgia Power first, find out what their responsibility is.
Let's talk about it a little bit more,
Yeah.
let's get with them and see what their obligations is.
And at least find out what we're getting
Yeah,
bids
yeah.
on.
We know what-
And then we just put it out
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw it at y'all. And
Well, that's about what it costs us to get trash picked up, so if they got chemicals involved, that don't seem like a bad price to me.
No, not, now, he's not gonna spray around no fields and all, cause when he's licensed, he's full responsible for.
I think so, that's
It
why I really
won't be,
into
it won't be a whole 500 and something miles.
No.
Because there's a lot of fields,
Right,
you know. Well, I make a motion, I think you done started it let's get bids on it.
right. We need to get Georgia Power involved so they know what to bid first.
What's Georgia Power gonna do?
And REA, if they're responsible for mowing under the lines, then it takes a lot
But
of.
they have just a few lines beside these roads. They some.
Well, like
I
Hank,
don't know.
like Hank said, man, he told us that REA and, they do blow the cut under their power lines,
But they don't.
but they don't.
Right, so let's get them involved and see.
Now, he's not gonna spray, where they the power line at.
Well, that's good for us.
But he
He's
said
not gonna spray where there's a power line, he's gonna spray the opposite
he's
side.
gonna spray the opposite
That's
side.
right. That's good for us.
He said that's their responsibility to keep that up.
I'll call George Power already and see if they.
Yeah, y'all might wanna dig in on
But we
it.
still need to make a motion to get a quote on this thing.
I made a motion.
If we decide to do it. So I got a motion from Van to get a quote, not award a contract, but get a quote on spray.
Per mile, because we don't have a clue. how many
That's
miles
right, per
they're
mile. I mean, we may say we can do 100 miles, whatever. So I got a motion from Van, do I have a second?
I'll second, we'll get a quote.
Second from Ricky on the quote, is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote, everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimous to get a quote.
And the grass tractors, we got them shut down, but we're gonna cut that landfill one more time. We got to keep that landfill up, and we're gonna run over it one more time. We got that landfill back in shape, where it's blown to be, and we're gonna cut it one more time before we shut down.
Okay.
How about our side cutters, when do you want both of them running?
The part for one of them ain't gonna be into next month or something. Now, next week, I'm gonna put some boys, I'm gonna pull Rocky off of a grave, and I'm gonna put a boy on. Rocky's told me he'd show the boys how to run a side cutter. I'm gonna start that side cutter up next week.
All right.
But the other one now, I don't know when the part,
John Deere's on the track, ain't no telling when you're gonna get it.
well, they did, I can't think of when it was. It's the end of this month or next month one that we do long to get the part for that.
We got an advertisement.
But one thing with it,
Sir?
We already, we got it working, trying to get some mechanics.
Yes, it was.
Gotcha.
one thing that I think Eddie failed to mention, and I know that Hank has talked about this, but our mowers
Yeah, we got,
are very, very worn, and they've been some good mowers, but we gonna need to look at purchasing a couple of more mowers. So,
we need to discuss it now.
Yeah, I'd like-
You might not get it till March, or
you may not get it in.
right.
Them boards is in bad shape, and I tell you, Mr. Bill Dawson and Peewee, I know we're coming with the double bat wings now. But what we used to cut with was two single bat wings, instead of the doubles. And if you'll cut with that single, you got your tractor set level.
Mhm,
But if we cut with that bat wing, we got both tractors lean.
mhm. So you prefer the same as what you said?
Yeah, the single, and you ain't got as much upkeep on that single. You add the extra bat wing.
Yeah.
But that's what we used to cut with now, two.
Would anybody like to, make a motion for us to take bids on two new mowers like he's discussing?
I'll make that motion to get bids on 2 mowers that he's recommending.
I'll second it.
Got a motion from Van, a second from Rick, is there any other discussion on these mowers?
2 bids. 2 or 3 bids on 2 more.
Yeah, seal bids, have them send them sealed.
We'll have to get specs to.
Any other discussion on it? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Eddie?
No, I think that's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Come on, Keith, let's get out of here.
Y'all take it easy.
Next on the agenda is Tax Commissioner, Ms. Susan Curzon.
Okay. On my budget, I'm at about 36% on my budget. And Dan had called me yesterday, and he wanted me to run for about the last 5 years, how the digest, had grown. So I ran all y'all a copy.
That thing,
Yeah.
I'll just find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna address that.
But the one that's highlighted in yellow, that's the gross. And then the one in purple, that's actually the exemptions are taken out. And so I didn't highlight where it has total M&O taxes levied. That is what, the county's portion got out of the digest from that year. So from 2016, was $4,278,899 to projected for this year is $5,720,710, and that's with the millage rate not changing at all. It's still staying at 15.38.
And I think that's, a lot of y'all received calls on this matter, and I think people misunderstood what this was. This is revenue, basically. This ain't a millage rate. There's no tax increase. This money was generated from things like Southern Cone Ranch going online again, and things of that nature.
It's where the digest has grown. It's new houses,
Right.
all that. If people's property, if you have not had any additions or if your property has not changed, your taxes will be the exact same thing they were last year.
And that's what people misunderstood when they seen this in the paper, that it was a tax increase. It is more revenue for Jeff Davis County, which in return helps it not to be a tax increase. So it's really a good thing. It's not bad like it was presented in the paper with that little thing saying tax increase, which was totally not true.
But state law, those are.
I don't think state law put that little thing in there that had that graph.
It wasn't it was the first thing that was projected, it was not in the ledger.
Because it is not a tax increase.
It was not, no, it was projected on Facebook with another.
Yeah,
It is
everything that was in the ledger was state law.
That's correct, yes.
Because when they come and check us, if those things are not in my packet, I digest will be approved.
I understand that, but I think the state needs to explain it better to the public, because that is really misleading.
But they'll be here, I don't know what day they're coming to check the digest, but y'all are welcome to meet with them.
Ain't nothing we can do, I'm just saying in my opinion. But anyway, so tell us about taxes and extensions and when's tax bills gonna go out?
Well, I mean, we got.
Because they've never been this time of year before, they've always been before now.
Right, well, my server crashed, so, I had to wait and get it, and,
How many extensions did you get?
we had to get 3. And mostly it was caused by my server, and I come to y'all, get it, and anyway, but,
So when do you think taxes will go out? Because they have 60 days to pay them now.
right,
And we're gonna be running short on money if we don't start receiving money.
well, when as soon as the digest, y'all set the millage on November the 18th, then I have to get somebody from the state. I'll set, and we'll set that up, because I've already talked to Kenny Colson and Danny Forsyth. They'll come down here and check the digest. Then we have to go back through and do a lot of paperwork. Then I get with Diversified. We have to do a lot of checking. So I'm gonna say it'll take maybe 2 weeks to get that done, and then the bills will be out in the mail.
So you're talking about bills going out in December?
It's gonna
Sometime
be
first of December.
1st of December.
So we're gonna be February, March, get the money, when we normally get it in December. Well, is there anything we can do to prevent this in the future?
Well,
I'm just asking because it ain't never been this way.
I couldn't have my server crash.
I understand that, so,
Well, the thing about approving the millage rate, maybe I'm missing something, but the thing about us approving the millage rate, that's fine. The thing about these guys coming down, why couldn't we have already done all that? What's that got to do with the server crash?
Because I have to calculate, there's so much stuff that I have to do, in the because I have to get my stuff from Kathy, and then I have to keep so much stuff, and every time I was trying to put it in the computer, it would go out.
I'm talking about us approving the millage rate didn't change.
No, but we still got officially approved.
Right.
But we got to wait on the school board before we can do that. My question is how do we prevent this in the future? We're gonna be, it's gonna be tight. I don't know, that's when all the big bills come in.
I guess, everybody but me was made aware of the server crash.
No, I wasn't until a few days ago.
Well, that's-
I come to y'all at a meeting and asked for it, and then y'all said that Oakley could only, approve it up to $10,000. So y'all told me to go back to the person that I was getting the quote from to see if I could get it cheaper. And so I did that. So then we had to do it another way, so Oakley could, approve that, that amount.
So,
And I don't
the server had crashed then, so your server was dead in the water, you came to us and we didn't approve for you to go get another one.
Right. I don't remember.
I ain't never heard the server was crashed. Heard you needed a new one, but nothing about, crash server or something would have been done
Every
because that
time
shuts
we-
the whole county down.
Every time when we could work on our stuff that was in the computer, but when I was adding so much new stuff, 2021, it would go down. And if y'all don't believe me, I'll get the company from Manatron, and I'll get Booney McNeil in here too, because
So, well, it crashed one time and then you had a little hiccup and then they finally got you a new one, right?
we finally got another
So
one.
what about the other two extensions?
Because we've been working on it. It's not an overnight thing to do.
I don't know, I just wish I'd had a heads up. We're fixing to be in a world of hurt, and right now, this very second is the first thing I do anything about this other than see it on the agenda. That tax bills haven't gone out, that this hasn't happened, that hasn't happened, and it was all because we didn't approve the expenditure of the server, and anyway. Communication would help. Lord, we should have known this 2 months ago when they didn't go out when they were supposed to. There should have been an explanation, but I don't know. We
John, did you come?
can't do nothing but go forward, so.
You came with me to that meeting, didn't you?
let's just figure out how not to ever let it happen again, because we're fixing to be in a world of hurt. And if any way you can expedite this process, you know, if we need to throw more resources at it or whatever, we gotta get tax bills out. Or are you gonna be living in a broke county till February? Is anybody
We
projecting
got
that
to
out?
be looking at this. I mean, this is just, that's bad.
Politics.
I'm sorry, I let y'all down.
All right, Administrator Heather Scott.
Tab 7, we're looking at the financial status right now with the budget, we're at 38.7%, you're complete with the budget. SPOS revenue, you know, because SPOS had, we go back 2 months, we got $180,229.25 on this last SPOS that come in. So right now, SPOS, the only allocated that we have with SPOS right now is that fire truck loan, other is the city highway. The second is redistricting. As of the 2020 census results have been released, we now are having to begin the process of redistricting. I've gotten with Lake Tillery, and to keep us from having to pay for somebody to draw our lines, he has sent a letter to a company to sponsor the county to get our maps drawn for us. If you will look in the next tab 7, behind the administrator updates, the company has sent a summary of what we're looking at. They are recommending that we draw our lines because we are not balanced as districts right now. But they also are recommending that we get somebody with the school board on board with this, since we do share districts with the school board. I'm working with Blake Tillery and this company to get us some maps and some lines drawn to be able to bring to y'all to see if y'all agree with them, so they could take them, and that way we can get them done before January, before election starts in March, because we will have to make sure everything is right before elections start. So I'm also working with Christy Reiner to make sure that everything is where it needs to be, this redistricting.
So they want us to adjust our lines
Yes,
on these districts?
yes, because of the census.
So basically what it says here, like they want, Hazelhurst district to have 109 more or 109 less.
It's just giving you the difference.
Yeah, I know.
So theoretically, they don't find 13. But the chance of that happening is slim to none.
Yeah, so that's just showing the deviation of it, so, and they're gonna give me this is just, she's gonna give more of an explanation, and like I said, me and Blake's working together to make sure we all understand, and if y'all aren't happy with the lines, at that point, we can go before the reapportionment board and go from there.
They're actually not that bad off, what I would have thought.
Instead, 13.57% is all it was.
Yeah, I mean, anything 2%, that's,
Yeah. And on the next page of it actually explains what each of them mean, of what's, like the top categories, what each means. All right, so my next thing is, if you'll keep turning after that, is I had Mr. Toller come to me with a mobile home on 96 McDaniel Road. It is a mobile home that's been brought before. It is grown up. He says that it's an eyesore. The thing is, I went and talked with Susie. This is one that's been taken to sale numerous times, correct? But this still has all the penalties and interest y'all would need to waive. If we wanted to get this in process, y'all would need to waive the penalties and interest and vote for Susie to take the lowest amount bidded at the
Is
sale.
the property involved in this or not, Susan?
What?
Is the property involved in this mobile home or just a mobile home?
Just the mobile home.
And,
So the taxes are being paid on the property?
yes. So y'all would just need to vote to remove the penalties and interest, correct, Susie? And to take the lowest, it would need to go to Sullivan.
Where's the McDaniel Road, out of House Douglas Highway?
It's that first trailer, it's a kind of a piece of a trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally grown up. And to take either take the lowest amount offered, or y'all can bid to, the commissioners bid it in, is that correct? Okay, I just want to make sure I was saying that correctly.
Would you need the highest bidder? Why would you take the lowest?
Well, I mean, the you know what, like,
There's
yeah.
no, there's no reserve.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, I got a question on top, go ahead and let's handle that one.
So I make a motion for us to remove penalties and interest where we can dispose of this property, or this, piece of a trailer, get it out of here.
I'll make a motion.
Just to remove penalties and interest, or take the
And
any
take
bid?
any bid, whatever somebody else does.
And I'll say,
Motion by Ricky, second by Van, is there any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote, everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously.
And then my next one is just a, update, the circus is coming back to Jeff Davis County.
Let me get one on the trailer.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
The two trailers that was out on, the Bell Telephone Road there. And we sold them the other day and the man bought the trailers back. That owns the trailer park.
That's correct.
Huh?
Yes.
We need to give it, send them, something, maybe get this stuff redone, moved or remodeled in 45 days or something, where it's still an eyesore area and nothing has changed since they bought it.
I would agree with that.
And I think that was our original plan, was to let him get to his name first, and then tell him he's got so many days to.
But he's got the trailer, but there's nothing, there's nothing
make the
changed.
motion.
Yeah, I make the motion, I'll say that.
Got a motion by Ricky and a second by Van, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote, everybody in favor, Rick?
The motion is how many days do we give them? 60 days?
45, be fine.
To start the process, or? I don't know where they-
Start them, or get them going, whatever he's gonna do.
To have it,
have it on.
to make a good effort at remodeling or have them gone for 45 days.
That's right. He's done had them about 30 days and ain't nothing moved.
So I have a motion by Ricky, a second by Van, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote, everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously.
Y'all know what we got out of them by any chance? I mean, it's public record, so Susie, you know, remember what we got out of them two mobile homes? Next to nothing, I mean,
He paid what was due on them, I can't
so
remember.
basically he just paid the taxes and took them, tax and penalty interest.
Again, the circus is coming to town. The same company as last year to rent the fairgrounds is asking, to rent the fairgrounds again. Of course, they've done, but I wanted to make sure y'all were good with the circus renting the fairgrounds in January again.
How the circus?
To have circus. Okay.
The school will not have started what they're gonna do by then, so they should be impacted in any way.
That's
We'll
my.
be right back anyway.
No, I'm just talking about the gate, the only way to get in is
Oh,
through the
yeah,
property.
well, yeah.
But we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Don't forget, another, last administrator here, we worked on a new form.
Yeah, they have the rental agreement,
Okay.
it's the same one. I just wanted, because I knew with the school,
We
with
used
that,
the new one.
yeah, I needed to make sure that we were good with, since it is a bigger function and there will be a lot more people.
Like we need to vote on that, maybe we bring it in.
No, okay. And the last thing is the Jeff Davis County Christmas Parade is December 11th at 6 p.m. and we are requesting the commissioners participate. So please be thinking about participation.
Are we gonna ride them, anybody?
Sure. We can find something. So I will, if y'all are, willing to participate, and I think that we should, we'll get some kind of something good enough, whether it be a flight bed or something for the commissioners or numerous vehicles or whatever y'all like to do.
I'm definitely good with it.
I'm good.
Okay.
Anybody opposed to that?
And I'll get more information
Okay, I got something about the Christmas doing, because we need to get the courthouse decorated. Get somebody to put
Okay.
the wreaths or whatever up there.
In my watch, we're having decorated for Thanksgiving.
Well, we got that.
Right? Okay, I'll work on that as well.
Next on the list is our attorney, Mr. Andrew Rainey.
I really only have one update, and it's regarding the DNR site. I've been in contact with DNR Representative Jeff Bishop. As I think the last time I reported to you, I informed you that we own a 1.25 acre tract at the Berkeley Ferry Landing. However, it is not, according to the survey that was done several years ago, it does not include the actual concrete boat ramp and landing where you put your boat in. But, you know, as we discussed, the county does have prescriptive easement. I mean, that road's been used for forever and ever and ever, and the county's maintained it, so we do have prescriptive easement. I sent email to Mr. Bishop to see if they would accept that. Remember, the previous lease that we were going to enter into said that we guaranteed that we would own her and we own the property. And I told him, I said, you know, we have rights to the property, but we don't necessarily have fee simple title like we do the 1.25 acres. And if they were okay with that, he just wrote me back now and said that after talking with their lawyers, they were okay with moving forward based on our rights as prescriptive easement. He said that he wanted to have an accurately surveyed boundary plot, which includes all the areas that we intend to improve, the parking, the ramp, and the riparian area, and a matching legal description. So I had emailed him a copy of the current plat, and the current plat shows the 1.25 acres, and that particular piece is surveyed off. That survey does show the road, and it does show the concrete boat ramp, but that portion that's not part of the 1.25 acres, there's not a meets and bounds survey for that part. It's just kind of showed on there. So I had emailed him a copy of that and asked him if he's okay with using that, or if he thinks that we need to do a whole new survey. If we do, I've talked with several surveyors, and it's probably going to be 1st of December before, first couple weeks before any of them get out there. I mean, as you know, the market's crazy right now. People's surveyors are backed up. So at any rate, but I'm still waiting to hear back from Mr. Bishop to see if this survey is acceptable or not. If it is, then we can move forward. The only thing that I've got to do at that point in time is he sent me the lease. He has received approval from their attorney. Remember, this lease is one that basically in the past that they have said it's either take it or leave it. We did make the one change, which they agreed with my recommendations, but they've now agreed for me to go in and change that lease to state that we don't own the property, but we have the prescriptive easements to the property. So anyway, we're making those changes to the lease, and then find out about the survey. And then he said, once we get the survey and those changes presented to you, then it'll have to go to the real estate department for their final review and signature by the DNR board and commissioner. So
Andy, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about this. I've been thinking about this a lot. According to their plan, what I've seen, it's going to be a double boat ramp, which is a single boat ramp there now. So the boat ramp has to be wide. Okay, and it has to have on the other side, there has to be a handicap wall. So if there's any question about the boat ramp that's there, there's plenty of room. Let's just build a new boat ramp on our property.
so let me ask you this, and
Just slide it over.
if you're standing at the boat ramp, there's room to go left, because that's where we own. If you're standing looking at the river, at the end of the road, we own a lot, everything left we own.
Yeah, I would just say put a new ramp on our side.
So if that's the case, then we're probably gonna have to get a surveyor to go out there and do a survey well, I would think that.
But we'll do it either way, but if it gets to be a problem.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea, and that would be my recommendation to them as well. I mean,
Especially if they're gonna tear the other one out.
If they're gonna tear that one out, then
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea. And then we can say,
It belongs-
we own it, it's ours. I mean, so, and,
And it would mean nothing, I mean, because it's, part of it's gonna go that way anyway.
and then whoever, the surveyor would, hopefully could meet a representative out there, and they could maybe go ahead and show the plans for the double boat ramp maybe within this survey, I would think.
There's plenty of room though.
So, that would be my suggestion too, that.
But yeah, just talk to him, I mean, we don't wanna mess it up, we'll take it either way, but I'd rather have it on our property.
So I didn't realize they were doing two.
Well, it ain't two, it's just it's a double ramp where two vehicles.
Oh, two
can back
vehicles at
down.
one time. I
So
got
instead of it being 30 feet, it'd be 60.
you. Gotcha. Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, it really does. I guess are there trees? I've never been out in a long time.
There's plenty of room for,
That's the trees there, but they gonna get rid of them anyway.
Okay, good.
we got room for the road.
I think that's the way to go.
But just don't mess it up, we need it regardless, if we gotta have an easement or if we put it on our property,
Well,
whatever.
if you think about it, you theoretically could leave the dirt one there like it is. I don't know.
It ain't dirt.
It ain't dirt.
Oh, there's a cement there.
No,
Okay.
you wouldn't wanna do that, 'cause then somebody gets.
Okay, so we'll go ahead,
Yeah.
we'll just make it, okay. Well, I'll tell them that, and so that, assuming it goes that way, I mean, we're gonna have to get another surveyor. I would think that's what his response was gonna be.
Or we just have to have that line marked, whatever
Exactly,
where it's
yeah.
all.
Yeah, and, so that we're probably looking at middle of December to get that done, assuming that's which way they're gonna wanna go.
Who done that survey?
This one was done by a Southern Survey and Associates out of Milan, Georgia, and Ryan, Georgia, those, so,
I could get them to come do it, because they know where, I mean.
yeah,
They probably done all that surveying now.
yeah.
I wonder if the address has changed. The Southern Survey, and that was the Jeff Burke, Paul Shelley, or
Yeah.
Jim, or whatever.
And I talked to,
Yeah, they gone.
Yeah, but
Craig.
I'm sure Paul.
All of them, I was.
so, well, I'll look into that and we'll see who, I mean, to be honest, I've had other issues with trying to get surveys, and a lot of times it's who you can get that can go out there, not necessarily, because they're just, some of them booked up, and, or you don't want to mess with it.
Have you tried those guys at Douglas?
No.
Usually like.
The only person I talked to about this specific was Craig Barkstadt, who's Southern Surveying here in town, just to see, kind of get an idea of when his, and he's the one that said it'd probably be the first couple weeks of December before he can get out there. So, no, I mean, that's fine. I mean, and he told me that he's doing some other work for the state right now too, so I'm, he would get it done. He said he could get to it if that's who.
Let's talk to them about putting on our, that won't work, we'll go other way.
Gotcha.
Let's just make it
Okay.
work.
Well, I think that's a good direction, and that's really the only update that I have, unless y'all have any other questions.
No, any,
Did we talk about the traffic?
It's gonna, oh, it's.
Okay, well, I was thinking, because some of the stuff we're gonna talk about, I would talk about, we'll wait until it comes up there, so.
I got something, talking about the boat ramp.
Yeah.
What about helping down at the shells down at the Heritage Center? What have you found out on that?
Meeting with the contractor next week unless something changes, so they can show us what we're looking at, so they can look at where we want to put it and what they're hopefully going to offer to help us do.
yeah, to stay within our
Yes.
agreed amount. All right, we'll move on then, new and old businesses, any new or old business anybody would like to discuss?
The trash pickup, if y'all turn to tab 8, y'all will see a trash pickup permit application that Amy and myself come up with to see if y'all are good with that, or if y'all want to add anything. This will be presented to Mr. King and any other person who, if they would like to start a trash pickup business, they will have to come and the county will have to come and fill out this application and show all of these requirements to be able to do so. And I will read the requirements to y'all as well while y'all are looking over it. It's the applicant must pay a $25 application fee. Applicant must pay a $100 monthly fee in advance on the first of each month. The first month fee is due when the application is submitted. If a permit holder fails to pay the required $100 monthly fee by the first of the month, the permit holder shall not be allowed to dump during the month until the fee is paid. Applicant must have a valid EPD license. If at any time the EPD license is revoked, the permit automatically is revoked as well. It also states that the trash pickup.
How are we going to control that? How are we going to know if the license is revoked?
Well, this is on a 6-month trial, so with our 6-month basis. So by every 6 months, they need to come and until y'all decide to up that monthly basis, they would need to bring in their license and show it as well.
Somewhere on here it says that? Or-
Right here, yeah, it says permit expiration.
Okay, good.
It's only good for 6 months, so every 6 months they would have to come back and reapply.
Yes.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, the only other thing is how are we going to address all of it getting put in the Alpha dump site? Is that in there?
So, well,
Look at the guidelines.
the guidelines say that the trash pickup permit allows a private individual company to pick up household garbage of Jeff Davis County citizens and deposit the household garbage at the county dump sites. The permit holder may not clog up the dump sites or block other citizens from being able to dump. If permit holder is blocking a trash site while other private citizens are waiting, the permit holder must move and allow the private citizens to dump. Failure to abide by these guidelines will result in immediate permit revocation. Nothing shall prevent the county from instituting new guidelines with the permit policy. So
Basically, we're just going to tell him he needs to spread the trash around and then
Yes.
in here nowhere.
unless you want to add it in there.
I would think you would, because how you going to control it? But I just know that every bit of the trash he picks up is going to the Alma Highway.
My thing would be when he does come in that we stress to him that whatever, site, or closest site to him, he needs to go dump that trash at
All
that.
he's doing is going out and then coming all the way back and go right down the hall. He could go out on, we go to Snipeville, they can pick it up.
Dump inside the field and
We have this in Word on my computer, so we can go.
I mean, that would be great, but you know what he's going to do like he's always done. It's all going to the Alma dump site. If we don't somehow make it mandatory that he does spread it out.
right, well, we
And
can,
then by
I
Friday afternoon, then dump the full.
mean, we can try to think of wordage to.
I thought we already had that. I thought I said we was gonna have, he said he does 4 trailers a week. So we was gonna say 1 trailer per dump.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'll add
yeah, we
that,
can add that in there.
I'll add that to the guidelines
Well,
part.
that would sure help, and somehow, we got, I don't know how we
But
police
my question, Hank, is if he picks up more trash in your area,
it. He ain't,
I-
he's bringing your Denton Snipeville trash to the Alma dump
but
site.
I don't want your trash in my dump.
Well, I don't,
But I would like to see, or he can give us a thing, something of where he's picking it up at, and kind of where he's getting most of his trash at.
We can add it to the guidelines and then we'll stress it.
it's, the simplest thing is spread it out when you
Yeah.
dispose of it.
1 trailer per site.
That'd be, and we got, how many sites?
It's all Jeff Davis County trash.
Yeah.
Just let them write the name on it, man.
They in each district. Now, I'm just telling you, how I
Just evenly disperse it.
Do we have 4 sites?
So we
We
have
have 6 sites.
6 sites.
Yes.
think. There's 6 sites.
So, helping me draft this, if he did 4 dump trailers, obviously 1 per site, but what if he did 5? If he gotta go, or can he go back and dump 2 at
1
once?
trailer per site per week.
1 trailer per site, and he said he's doing 4 per week?
That's what he said.
If volume picks up, then he can find another site.
I mean, then when he gets past that 6 trailers, then he'll have to communicate with us and we'll have to add.
Gotcha. Okay, 1 trailer per site per week.
We'll add that to the
Well,
guidelines.
So our dumpster folks, it's okay to tell them, if they see him more than once a week, they need to turn him away.
Okay, I'll make sure I tell you now.
And again, I put the language in there that says if he's not abiding by the guidelines, y'all can say, nope, it's revoked. So he needs to understand he's got to follow the guidelines.
And this isn't, this is really a big deal. Y'all don't see it, you don't see it. It is really a big deal. I can tell every time he's been there. I mean, it's just, it goes from one dumpster being full to every day. By Friday afternoon, you're done out there. You might as well shut down, because it's all going on the drain. Because there ain't nowhere else to put it.
One trailer per dump route per week.
And
A fixed
I'll
truck.
tell Tiffany, and now, once that's added, are y'all good with this, then to vote on this evening?
Get it fixed and bring it
I
back.
mean, it's
So we
really,
need to vote on this.
we really already voted on
Yeah, we
it.
voted.
This is
Yeah.
just a permit.
Okay, so these
Say
are.
To amend it to the one trailer per dump per week.
If you want to do that, that'd be fine.
So we want to amend this contract, I need a motion to amend this contract to one trailer per site per week.
That's a permit application, not a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, just make sure it says that.
I will.
So I need a motion for that.
Make a motion.
Got a motion, I need a second.
Second.
Second, first motion by Hank, second by Ricky, any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries.
I vote.
You did a vote?
Yeah, you vote. I
I
got
thought you had
You
raised
didn't
hand.
look today.
it. I got it.
Excuse me. Just man opposed.
I
But it
got
still
it.
passes.
It's
Yeah,
still
yep,
passing.
passes,
Yes.
4-1.
That's all I have.
All right, any other new or old business?
Yeah, I would like to say, on this, do we ever get a contractor to do these striping, or the road striping? Did we ever-
Heather's been in communication with Hoff Settler, and I've talked to him in time too, and he is getting us a list.
Well, I talked to
Some
him
of it's already started.
Yes.
I mean, he's already started some.
Yeah.
on, for the, on, not for the,
For all the other striping money. that
from the
comes out.
$225,000. Okay, so you already got a contract to do it.
Yeah, Hofstadter's getting us a list and everything,
Is he charging us for that?
not to get us a list.
I ain't talking about a list, I'm talking about somebody already done made a deal, the striping.
He puts it out for bid,
He puts
it's
it out
already
for
been
bid, and
bid
it
on.
comes
Somebody
in.
Bids done been awarded, yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying,
Yes.
bid already done the work.
Yes.
Okay. So he just got to get started then.
And it's
Well,
already
and
been
it's different
started,
people, too.
yeah.
So,
It's
Some of
different
it's already
people,
been started as well.
Summer roads have.
Yes.
but it's not one contractor doing it
What
all.
road is
yeah,
it?
yeah. I ain't seen no.
They painted that on mine.
I'll get you our list, I'll email it out to y'all.
They painted on my roads.
Supposedly,
Well,
well, don't
who, well,
try.
who is it? Who got the job?
I'll get you a list of who's already rewarded and all too as well. But see, they come in and they do their own bid openings. and-
You like still be in a day stop road,
Like,
that'd be going for
the
2-3
Tia
days,
bands.
you can come back.
Huh?
The TIA bands, that, like, just an example, the TIA bands that's been done with the paving and all, Jay Hires was put out for that. And we're already
But they
working
sent the
on,
striping out, so the striping hasn't been done on that, because nothing
Correct.
else is the striping.
correct, so like, but Chad got
Who
us,
does your striping on Post Road? You don't want him to eat.
No, we haven't been through that.
but like Chad got us the grants with TIA, so that we didn't have to use our TIA money. He got us the grants for TIA, paying 1, 2, 3, and now we're working on 4. So he actually is getting the grant money for that, for the road that y'all have voted on, to make sure that we're not having to put any of our TIA money.
Okay, well, how about this now? The road that's gonna get paved.
We
We
made
decide
that
what
list.
road, we decide what road we gonna pave, I mean, strike.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah, we didn't give a list.
that was at the beginning of the year. I'll get you that
I
one.
think Robert got them roads.
Okay, so we decided whether it was going or not.
Yeah. We done that
That was
6 months ago.
Yeah, that's closer to February.
I don't believe that, I don't see the thing.
Well, just get a list.
I'll get you.
And just a personal project that me and Brad are both involved with, please make sure, Hofstadter assures me the guy did not get paid for striping Post Road out there.
Okay.
But I want you to make sure we got that money and we can reallocate it somewhere else. It was about $18,000, but we can still stripe some more road for that.
Okay.
And he obviously did it with.
All right, so any more new or old business?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Was Claxton Road on that list of striping? If not, it needs it bad.
Yes, it is.
It's
It's
on
on the list.
I put that on there. I went over all mine and made a list.
That road's awful now.
It's
It
exactly
is
right.
on the list.
Thank y'all.
Any other new or old business? All right, we'll move on to public comments again, and I don't have anything. So we'll move on to executive session. We will need to go in executive session, so I will need a motion to go in executive session.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Ricky.
I'll say.
Second by Van. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Everybody in favor, right hand, motion unanimous.
Like me trying to get up. You got back problems too?
I got arthritis in my neck.
Okay, yeah, that was from my office, and it's right there underneath my.
I'll get a chiropractor once.
Here, there's one on that, so I'll put it on here real quick, and then I'll get you to grab it and send it.
They're gonna try several times. I got the MRI scheduled. We'll see. And on Tuesdays, I stare at the computer all day, and that's just, that's a problem.
I bet. Well, I hope you feel better.
See ya. Well, there.
You're telling me you have to get out of pay? I've lost my pencil.
Hey, I need to talk to you before we leave tonight.
I'm just
It ain't nothing bad.
No, okay.
Not yet, anyway.
Okay. You should go right live, but then, go ahead and do it.
Not right there.
No, hey.
I would entertain a motion to come out of the
Hold on
executive.
just a second, she's not back there. Now she is.
You got it live.
Oh, okay, go back. You're not looking at me. Right here? Yes, we're live.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Rick,
I'll say.
second by Van, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all vote, raise your right hand, motion carries unanimously. We are back in regular session. We went in executive session, let me have my word it right, to discuss personnel, litigation,
Compensation.
and employment compensation. Do we have any recommendations?
I have one recommendation for, you also offer Edwin Williams, the EMS director, as starting director EMS pay.
I'll need a motion.
I'll make a motion to.
Got a motion by Van, we got a second by Hank, is there any discussion on that matter? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, raise your right hand, motion carries unanimously. Anything
I got some old business. Everybody's old business back here in the old business.
Yes, I will grant that.
On the quit. Eddie wants us to trade, we're having trouble with that newer machine we bought, the motor grader,
Yes,
that we bought new in 2018. We can trade that machine. They'll give us $140,000. And I think looked through the numbers, and they're pretty close on the numbers on that thing. We can trade it for a little bit older machine, it's got a few more hours on it, and we can gain $30,000. They'll give us a $30,000 check to the county. And it'll be a steering wheel machine that everybody can run instead of a joystick.
that we're having a problem.
And we're having a lot of trouble with that machine. They got parts ordered for it right now, so, if y'all,
Is that other machine ready? So I mean, it could be a swap or something?
yeah, we can trade pretty quick.
And they're gonna handle all transportation, bring it over,
Oh, yeah.
bring it
And they running that other machine now through, here's the other thing too, that they running that machine through their service department. And he's got $10,000 to play with. And if it costs $5,000 to do the upgrades to that other machine, they'll knock the other 5 off of the.
Oh, it's got 15.
Yeah, that's our cost.
Okay. All right, y'all heard his recommendation. Would anybody like to make a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion to accept $140,000 for ours and pay up to $110,000 for theirs. Is that your motion? Got a motion from Ricky. Is there any second?
Kind of wish Van would.
I'll say.
Got a second from Van. Got a motion from Ricky, a second from Van. Is there any discussion on that matter? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Is that it? This meeting is adjourned.
Congratulations, Edwin.
Thank you. News to me.
I was like, thinking like you would.
I like this posted, but they're not. It shows some people.
That's Brad.
Congratulations, sir.
Just another.
Like the first one it shows.
You just didn't put the white out right there. So, we ain't gotta get him a new shirt.